दोस्तों, सोशियोलॉजी के टॉपर्स के मुंह से तो आपने बहुत बार सुना होगा कि उन्होंने स्लीपी के रिसोर्सेज यूज किए। तो लेकिन ऐसे भी कुछ टॉपर्स हैं जो सोशो ऑप्शनल से नहीं है। वो क्यों स्लीपी का नाम लेते हैं? दोस्तों, हम स्लीपी क्लासेस में जीएस एक्सटेंसिवली कवर करते हैं। ना सिर्फ यूट्यूब में डेली 4 वीडियोस आते हैं दोस्तों वहां पर, बल्कि हमारे पेड मॉड्यूल्स हैं। आज भी भारत के मोस्ट कॉस्ट इफेक्टिव पेड मॉड्यूल्स सिस्टमैटिकली कवरेज करते हैं पूरे जो जीएस को, एंड मेंटरिंग भी अब तो शामिल है। दोस्तों, मैं आपको इनवाइट करता हूं इस पूरी जर्नी में जो कि भारत के ग्रास रूट से क्रिएट कर रही है अब टॉपर्स।
Hello everyone, my name is Sanketh Kumar Ajmera and I have secured All India rank of 35 in UPSC CSE 2022, and today I'll be sharing my essay writing strategy for civil services. I think the general notion that people have when they are preparing for essay writing is that they try to consolidate all the knowledge that I've gained from preparing for the general studies papers 1 to 4. But I wanted to do something different, primarily because if everybody is doing the same thing, then then there will not be any reason for the examiner to give anybody more or less marks. So I delineated my preparation for essay from the GS preparation, and I relied on my hobby, that is book reading, to prepare content for my essay. So basically what this has done is that as mentioned earlier, my content would be original and be very different from other people who have who are putting a lot of GS based content in their essays. And secondly, what it also did is that I used to be able to replicate in a very original manner about in the way that authors used to express their views in their books. So that also helped me to differentiate myself from the crowd, because I believe there is a trend going on in which various dimensions like social, political, geographical and historical dimensions are spelled out in the essay, which I think is a very linear fashion and does not create interest among the reader of the essay. So by reading a lot of books, I could learn how to present my arguments in a very flowy, non-linear kind of manner and not be very objective at the same time. And so this was about how I used to build content, and for this I used to hardly spend 15 minutes before sleeping every night to read any book, and I used to highlight in the book itself which were my notes for essay preparation that I used to refer before the essay exam. And secondly, I used to emphasize on the importance of brainstorming before attempting any essay. So in the given 1.5 hours for each essay, I used to spend the first 15 minutes not writing anything on the paper, but in the first 3 to 4 minutes I used to shortlist, then I used to select an essay. Then in the remaining 11 to 12 minutes I used to brainstorm all the things that are required to fill the length of 11 to 12 pages. So I used to create headings, titles, and I also used to allocate the number of pages required under each title. So for example, there used to be a pre-introduction which would start by an anecdote, which used to be around 1 or 2 pages. Then I used to have a main introduction in which I used to explain my position on the essay, my understanding of the essay, so that the examiner will know which perspective that I am talking about. And then I would also briefly summarize the essay that I am going to write in the next 10 or 12 pages. Then after 2 pages of introduction, then I would go into the main body, and the main body would contain positive arguments, for example, in the first 4 pages, and negative examples in the next 4 pages. And in the final pages, I would have a conclusion that I used to draw from the arguments that I have stated in the last few pages. And finally, I would have a last final conclusion in which I used to quote a lot of references, and at the same time used to end it with a punchline or a poem. In one of my first attempts, I actually ended my essay with a poem, I think, which was greatly liked by the examiners, and I scored very well in my first attempt as well. But in the second attempt, there was a slight decrease in my marks, especially because one thing I did not mention here is that whenever we are allocating different sections in an essay, there needs to be a continuity, a flow that needs to be maintained between each section. So I believe that flow is the keyword in essay writing, and nothing gives you more marks than maintaining flow in this particular essay. And so I would like to request everyone to please focus on brainstorming And even when preparation, it is not important that you write 12 pages of an essay for each essay. Just work on that 15 or 20 minutes of brainstorming that you would do before each essay for a variety of topics, and then try to replicate in a few essays before you write a main essay. And by this, I would like to thank the Delhi Knowledge Track for helping me to express my views on essay writing strategy, and I believe this will help a lot of aspirants in the future appearing for the exam. Thank you very much.